Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremiah. I go by the name of Parallax when it comes to my elaborate 3D jewelry. That's a category that I created for myself in my work. I focus on complex jewelry systems that I design on my own and I 3D model, rig, texture on my own. And I create all of that work using ZBrush. So, as a ZBrush artist, I wanted to ensure that other ZBrush artists are just kind of like, up to date on certain workflows and whatnot. So, there's this software called DAZ Studio. It's mostly made for end users and hobbyists to essentially just buy 3D models that are developed by developers and they can just render them and create cool little scenes or comics and whatnot. And I'm a publishing artist, which means I'm a vendor within the daz3d.com marketplace. I have my own store there, and that's where I sell assets that I develop. So that's the reason why this tutorial exists. Now, I just wanted to mention that first things first, I'm not teaching anyone how to use Daz here. I'm not teaching anyone how to use ZBrush either. And I'm not teaching how to create or design or how to work within a proper production pipeline. Those are all things that, you could, there's plenty of YouTube videos that could help you out with those, basically. This is just to teach a workflow. And so Daz released a new generation of characters called Genesis 9. So the base shape for Genesis 9 is somewhere in between female anatomy and male anatomy. And so if you were to design something for a female body, you're going to have a tough time here. So again, this is for ZBrush artists. So I figured out this really, really easy workflow. It's not a big deal. It's really easy. And if you've been using ZBrush for as long as I have, it's probably something you could figure out on your own too. But it's all good. I did it. So I'll just put it in this video so you could watch it. So here we are inside of Daz. Just to give you kind of like a notification that if you see anything on my screen inside of Daz that seems different from your build, again, I get a different type of build because I'm a publishing artist, aka vendor. So I may have features that you might not have or something like that. Plus, I always customize all of my interfaces and keybinds and create macros in every 3D package that I use so I can work quicker. So that may be one of the things that differ as well. So here we are looking at the Genesis 9 character. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to export this guy. We're going to go over to parameters, expand. We're going to go to utilities. And if you notice, we have this called developer tools. We're going to go ahead and click this. It's going to give us a cool little menu. And with the Genesis 9 character selected, we're going to click where it says export selected to OBJ. It's going to export a .obj, and you could save that wherever you want on your computer. So I'm going to do the same thing. Give me a second. Okay, there's Genesis 9. I'm going to go ahead and hit T for edit mode in ZBrush, and here's the character. I'm going to subdivide for the sake of, okay, so once again, I just want to say that I'm going to create something very, very simple here that's going to serve the purpose of being the vessel of which we ride to be able to understand this workflow. So don't judge me by whatever it is that I'm going to make now. I'm an artist first and everything second. So don't hold me against it. I love creating interesting things, and it's just, that's what my soul is about. So sometimes when I create things that are like this, for this particular scenario, it hurts me deep down inside. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like this was an opportunity I could have taken to make something cool. So I'm going to make something super simple so that we could push forward. Don't judge me. I'm going to go ahead and subdivide. I'm going to delete my lower subdivision levels. And I'm just going to switch over to curve mask so that I can get something going here. Probably going to go for a simple suit. I'm going to start right from there and do that. We're going to go ahead and invert our mask. We're going to draw this along here, and I'm going to unmask that. Then I'm going to go back up here and probably do something like this. Do the same thing over here. We'll just unmask that. We could have done it with lasso, but it's all good. We had that one out. We're going to go through our profile and unmask there. And there we go. And then maybe, just maybe, do something like that. See if we get any kind of issues we might have to fix. You know what I mean? I guess it's an interesting, it's something we could do to try to provoke any kind of things you may have to fix later. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead, and that mask is driving me crazy the way that it looks. And I'm going to do that so I could get some nice round corners there. And I'm going to extract. I have macros, keybinds, custom menus. I have it all, baby. Whatever you need here. So again, I'm not teaching ZBrush. A lot of what may be going on is pretty basic stuff. I'm just using keybinds and things like that and macros I have set up. So when it comes to macros, like for example, I'm running one right now that polishes the borders and Z remeshes. I have, whenever I do something more than twice per session in ZBrush, that I'm going to turn that into a macro. That's just how I work. Let's go in here. Let's just smooth this out. You know, this topology, maybe we could, let's crank it down. Bring it down a notch. There we go. That's fine. Let's bring the character back. Let's hit double. Now, you see how this is clipping right now? I'm going to leave this subtool just like that on purpose so that I could set it up to teach you something else. So we're just going to leave it like that. We're not going to fix this. It may drive you crazy. Trust me, it drives me crazy. I want to fix it too, but it's all good. Now let's go back into solo mode here. Let's bring back our topology. Our borders are pretty bad, but again, we're not trying to win Artist of the Year here. This is a technical adventure we're on. So we're going to go to polygroup, and I'm just going to go like this. I'll run through here right quick. Something real fast. So bear with me. I'm going to set up UVs because that's just a second thing that plays into this that needs to be taught. Okay. Oopsie. Where did I miss it? Where did I miss it? Where did I miss it? Missed it right here. There. Okay. And anywhere else? It's probably going to be a terrible unwrap because of the shape of this. So I'm probably just going to, let's go ahead and keep groups. See what that looks like. Okay. I think that looks a little bit better. So I'm going to go through here, do that, and do this. So this could unfold just a little bit better. And you know what? I really don't need to be doing this because I'm thinking as if I'm going to make something that I need to run through a production pipeline, and it needs to actually be of quality. So I actually don't need to be doing that. All right, cool. So we're going to go to Z plugin. We're going to go to UV master. We're going to select polygroups. We're going to unwrap. And if we flatten, we should be able to see that we've gotten some okay-ish UVs. Perfect. Those work for me. I'm going to unflatten and bring this back, and that's it. I'm going to export it now. So we're going to go to Z plugin once more. We're going to go over to FBX export import. In our options, we're just going to leave smoothing levels on. Honestly, this is up to you. I'm teaching a workflow, so your export options are always going to differ based upon whatever pipeline you're currently in or wherever you're exporting to next. Okay, but for the sake of this workflow, we're just going to do smoothing levels because I'm just teaching you kind of like the basis of a concept of a workflow. It's really easy. And I've kind of already thought about it on my own, how I could use this for hard surface models. And that's something else I'll do off camera. All right. So we have our FBX import options up on our little prompt here. So we have a couple of options here. This is default, I'm pretty sure. And you can leave it at the default settings here, not because we're guessing, not because we're eyeballing it, but this is because this is specifically what we need. And I'm not importing in a rigged asset, so we're definitely not going to be selecting any of these up there. Okay, so we're going to hit accept. And here we are. Now we're going to go ahead and click on Developer Tools. Remember, that's found by right-clicking on Genesis 9, going over into the Parameter tab, going to Utilities, and clicking on Developer Tools. We're going to drag this out so we can look at this. And we're going to select our little suit that we just named. I named it Workflow Suit because it's, highly unique. And then we're going to go to Create Follower. So what that just did is it just projected essentially the weight maps from the Genesis 9 character onto the suit and gave us some supplemental rigging there. As you can see, it's conforming, it's deforming, and it's rigged. And he seems happy about it, right? So let's go ahead and snap everything back into place. Now, we originally wanted to create this for a female character. That's the purpose of this workflow. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close this out. And Daz gives us adds to our product library, us as in publishing artists and vendors, their characters that they make so that we could create assets for them. And so I'm going to bring one of those in or dial her in, and it's going to be Tara 9. And as you can see, it's not working out too good, right? We need to make some adjustments here. We need to make this look better. So we're going to right click on her. We're going to select all the children. Well, I did that with a keybind, so my bad. Right click here, select children. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Send to, actually before I send to ZBrush, let me just clear up ZBrush right quick. So here we are at ZBrush. I'm going to go to Project. This is a custom menu that I have. I'm going to clear the cache for GoZ. I'm going to go ahead and delete the suit, delete the Genesis 9 guy or person. And now we'll go to File. Now we'll go to Send to. Now we'll go to Send to ZBrush, which is GoZ. We're going to leave Export at Current Res unchecked. We're going to hit Accept. And if we give it a moment, we'll have a new friend. And here is Tara. And let's go ahead and activate symmetry. I'm going to mask the borders. Again, this is just like, this is extra, but I'm doing this because I need to do this in order to teach you the workflow. So you can just forget about what's happening right now if you want to. All right, cool. I have a macro, of course, for simulating. And let me just smooth that out. I'm going to invert my mask, probably clean up the borders as well, simulate those. And then let me clear the mask. As you can see, it's okay-ish. We probably for shizzle could have used another level of subdivision on the initial subtool when we first created it before we even exported it out the first time. But again, we're writing out through a workflow, and this is our vessel. So now that we've got some decent results here as to how this is just deforming to this different shape, we're going to redo the UVs because the vertices, the faces, the edges, the edge loops, the topology has shifted around and conformed to this body. So that means our old UVs are going to distort our textures. So we're going to go to Z plugin and we're going to unwrap again. And that'll give us brand new UVs based upon the current state of the topology. Now we're going to go ahead and go Z. Actually, let's go ahead, Alt Tab. We're going to select the workflow suit, which is the name of the suit that we just made. We're going to go back into parameters. And we're going to go to show hidden properties currently used. And you're going to see the head and the body. These are projecting onto our mesh right now, which is what we just fixed inside of Z. So we're going to go right click. We're going to just copy, Control C, hit escape to close that out. Alt Tab. Now we'll go Z. I have a keybind, sorry. And we will update an existing object. It's going to ask this because we changed the UVs, I assume. So it's just trying to double check if we want to update the current object that we have in the scene, or if we're just sending in something brand new that we want to use as a separate thing. So we do want to update. So we're going to select update an existing object. We're going to hit accept. We're going to expand here. We're going to double click in there, Control V, which is going to paste the name of the morph or projection, what have you, that we're going to be replacing. We're going to right click where it says morphs /ZBrush. We're going to select actor, full body, people, feminine, because that's where that one resides. That one as in this up here, Tara9 _ body _ BS _ body, right? Now we're going to go to override existing. We're going to right click, deltas only, because if we left it as make unique, then the changes wouldn't reflect. We need to replace the results of this that's projecting onto our mesh, okay? And then now we're going to hit accept. Everything changed. Of course, the menu was in the way and you couldn't see, but it changed. You remember. It looks great. It looks beautiful. If we switch over to our surfaces, let's go ahead and render that out right quick. Let's pick a red color. You can see that looks way better than what it did before. Let me just rotate the dome I have here. I guess I could add the eye shader to get better results, right? Okay, so we have the eye shader on there. Let me just go ahead and drop this right around here so we could get so it won't be so blindingly bright. And this is what it looks like. Looks great, right? And so let's go ahead and turn off the preview render. Let's go back to parameters. And now let's dial back in, or let's zero her out. And we get this guy. Now, as you can see, this is a mess, right? On purpose. I told you that I wasn't going to make any adjustments or fix or clean up anything that we had in terms of clipping on purpose so that I could show you the next part. So we will right click on him. We already have him selected. We'll go back into parameters. We'll expand here. We'll go to utilities. Developer tools will pop out here. We'll click here. And before we get to this part, actually, I jumped ahead. Don't worry about it. We're good. We're going to add a smoothing modifier. There's already one in place. Perfect. So let's go ahead and find our smoothing modifier, which is right here. This is our smoothing modifier. It's on. We're going to crank up the iterations to probably like 15. And as you can see, that's fixed our clipping. And then now we're going to bake these results into the base version of our workflow suite that we created inside of ZBrush. Okay. And we'll do that by going to our little G9 dev tools that we have here and clicking where it says update follower base shape. Update successful. You could even remove the smoothing modifier and notice the results are still there. Changes are reflecting because they baked in. So it's just part of the mesh now. It's all good. And we can go ahead and select him again. Go to Tara. Let me just remove show hidden properties. There we go. Perfect. And we could bring her back in. We've got that. And then we can dial her out. And as you can tell, that's clean too. And that's the workflow, simply put. So remember that hurricane I was talking about? It's getting really, really windy outside. So it's time for me to finish this because I don't want to lose power in the middle of this without saying, if you have any questions, ask them in the comments section below. I'll get to them after this little situation we have here. And that's pretty much it. Later. Peace.